In the tabletop role-playing systems, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the players who play the game and the GMs who run the game. These are their problems. Josh, I would like to pose something to you. It was an actual legitimate question that we got from the MagPass panel, where you were upstairs tending to your wounds. It was this couple that comes up to the microphone and they say, hey, so our problem seems to be attention span, because our GMs, because they were playing in a group of like 6 people, all of whom were GMs. And the issue is, like, GM 1 would start running a game, and they would have this big idea for it, and then over the course of about between 3 to 4 weeks, they would lose interest in it, and then they would just not be interested in running it anymore. So then the next GM would pick up and run their thing. And they just kept saying, like, it's infuriating to play, which I can understand, because you can't get any kind of investment. It's one thing when you're playing in like a pickup game, like the kind we run publicly, right? There's no inherent expectation of investment in that. But these were people playing in a private game. And I gave my answer to them, and I'm interested, without prejudicing you, what yours would be.
There are 2 directions I would take this.
Okay.
Direction number 1 would be you sacrifice the idea of having a long-running narrative and you just run one shot.
Mm-hmm.
So you rotate GMs, they run the 2 or 3 session arc that they're clearly very excited about, and then as their interest starts to wane, they wrap it up and they pass it to the next GM.
Mm-hmm.
That is not super ideal, because it sounds like they would like to have more narrative, not commit to having no narrative.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest in that case is still do the rotating GM thing with everyone sharing a world. And then each GM, while the game is running, also has a PC in the party. Kind of like how Alex runs Alita.
So it's just like everybody's sandbox is how you would try and treat it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like a collaborative GMing situation where everybody's got their hands on the wheel a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think technically that's the correct answer, because I gave one that was very similar. I said something to the effect of, well, like, the average campaign, quote unquote, these days runs roughly six sessions. I said, maybe your GMs all need to sit there and sort of reframe in their heads what a campaign is, right? And I talked about how we write stuff and we sort of define it so it can have a beginning and an end before we start writing it. So that way we know, okay, well, this is going to run 4 sessions. This is going to run 6 sessions. And that was the advice I gave them. I think the problem is that they, I lost my train of thought, but I'm getting it back. Yeah, I remember now what I was going to say. The GMs like really feel the drive within themselves to write these massive campaigns, but when time for rubber to hit the road, they're just not doing it. So the idea that they should scale back their ambitions was sort of angering them, if I remember correctly. And I was like, well, okay, so it sounds like there may be not a great answer here.
I just had a thought literally while you were talking, which is why I did the like brain blast hands.
Yeah.
Run it in Planescape.
And just have them jump around?
Have them jump around.
Okay.
It's an unstable planar shifting situation. You're going to be in each of those campaign worlds for about 3 or 4 sessions, and then you never know where the next leap is going to take you. It might be home.
Yeah, you're playing Sliders or Quantum Leap at that point. I think that's fine. I think that's the answer. And really, like, the hidden question here is, should we still play with this group because we're not happy with the way things are going? And the answer is maybe not. Maybe they don't actually mesh with what you're looking for.
I think the question below that question is anyone happy with how that's turning out? Or are these GMs also frustrated that they have this idea that they're really excited about, and then they get a few sessions in and they're petering out?
It's questions.
If that's the case,
it's questions all the way down.
If that's the case, you might need to be spacing out your sessions more, or running alternating campaigns or something like that.
Yeah, you think they're playing too frequently?
Well, you're talking about they're running out of steam inside of like 3 or 4 weeks. That to me sounds like they're playing at least once a week, which can be a lot for a GM who wants to do something really rich and involved.
You're saying they need to build the anticipation a little bit.
Yeah, that's precisely what I'm saying.
Okay.
Precisely.